We are taking the show on the road.
Vroom, vroom, beep, beep.
We're going on tour.
That's right, the Teachers Off Duty podcast. It's coming to a city near you.
It's gonna be epic.
Mind-blowing.
The night of your life.
Get ready to come and laugh and go off duty with us.
And experience the show like you've never seen it before.
Like, imagine listening to the podcast, but in the same room with us. And with drinks.
This means more crazy stories.
And some special surprises.
Boston friends.
Washington, D.C. friends.
And my hometown of Philadelphia friends.
Tickets are now available.
Get your tickets now because they're going fast.
See you soon, guys. I'm just so excited. Going on tour. We're going on tour.
I'm gonna need some wine.
In this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty.
Hold on. I got this. In this episode of Teachers Off Duty, we talk about professional developments and our worst ones we've ever endured. And also, we do a special lip reading. I guess that's what you'd call it, right? Is that what the youngins say? Anyways, tune in to Teachers Off Duty.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this week. Today we're talking about professional development. Professional development is one of those things that it almost gives me PTSD when I talk about it, because very rarely do I go to professional development and I'm like, oh, this was like really developed me as a professional. They're almost always just super mid and not good.
Two things. Were we all smirking because of the way he said professional development the first time?
Yes.
Okay. A couple episodes ago, we talked about your speech impediment. You had professional development. But then, what is mid?
Mid?
What is mid?
It's
Like,
a slang, Gen Z slang.
I'm not cool.
No cap.
No
Mid.
cap.
Mid is no cap. Like
No,
no.
mid.
No.
mid.
No cap is something different. Mid just means like meh,
Middle.
like middle.
Just like,
Middle.
bleh.
Yeah.
Like vanilla. Like meh.
It's mid. Like you're kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
Have you ever intentionally skipped a PD?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one. I was getting sick, so I went home.
Well, I had a hair appointment accidentally scheduled that day.
Yeah. I was like, I have
Like-
COVID, but it was 2018. Like,
I was the first person to get COVID.
yeah.
Professional development is one of those things where if it's executed right, it can be awesome, but very rarely is it actually executed right. So what are some of the worst professional development seminars that you guys have ever had?
Well, I had a county forget about us. Like,
What?
Yeah,
What?
literally, we had a whole day set aside for PD. Beginning of the year, it was, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, school stuff. And then Thursday was county-wide professional development. And then Friday was work in your room. You know, one day to work in the room. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
But I'll never forget, it was the Thursday where we were supposed to go places. And they were like, we'll email out where you're supposed to go, which school in the county you're going to based upon what you teach. And it was like Spanish, go to this middle school. Language arts go here. You know, reading goes here. And science goes here. And there was no social studies on any of them. And somebody responded, or like replied all in the email, hey, where's social studies go? And they literally responded, I kid you not, they go, whoops, our bad, pick one. So I went
they
to
had
Spanish.
nothing
Oh my
for you.
So I
gosh.
was like, well, let me go see what Spanish people are doing. And, you know, just wandering in there like, the Spanish Inquisition? I thought, no? Okay, all right.
See, the problem was that somebody responded to the email and
Yes.
said something
Well, that's the
where
thing.
you
Most
guys
didn't
could have
go.
got away with it
Yep.
and not gone at all.
Yeah, I know. But they forgot about an entire,
What state?
Department.
What state was this in?
Florida.
Oh, Florida forgot about history?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh no.
They should have just told you guys to turn on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Like, all right, tune in from 7:45 to 4:15.
Yeah.
Right.
Just write a 2-page report about it.
Social studies is going to the governor's office.
Yeah. Oh god.
And you're going to talk to him directly about what you teach and what you don't. And but that's how it was. Is
There may or may not be a
social
lie
studies-
detector.
And then the next year, I'll never forget, they finally had one for social studies. And they brought us all to this giant auditorium, and we were like, oh my gosh, who's going to be the guest speaker? This is going to be so cool. This was pre-COVID. Zoomed in a judge from the Florida State Supreme Court to read us all the ethics violations that we had to worry about as teachers.
What?
That was it. They sat at a desk and guaranteed no pants. This was, I mean,
100%.
just like really informal.
Were they
And-
wearing their like judge garb?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just sat
I wonder
there.
if they have like a half judge garb. So like when they're wearing their no pants, they have
Right?
like a half of a, what is that called?
Robe.
The robe.
Where's your
Half a
gavel?
robe.
Don't worry about it.
They like didn't have any semblance of what we did. They weren't talking to us. They just turned on their Zoom and read
You know that was
from the
pre-recorded.
ethics book of what teachers should and should not do. And it wasn't even like, you know, you would think like, oh, there was something bad and now we need some sort of training. This was just like, just so you know, you shouldn't do this, and you can do this, and you shouldn't do this, and this is the legal standing for this. And you know they paid them like 20 grand to sit on
sure.
Zoom
Yep.
and tell us that.
Dude, I had a PD one time where it was before school. After like all the building stuff you have, like everybody goes to this convention center and every employee in the district goes to this. And this was right after we got used to COVID kind of. So it was like when we were starting to get back to normal, and the gal that was presenting, she's like, oh, this is my first time giving an in-person speech since COVID. And we're like, oh, cool, whatever. And we're sitting there, and then I was supposed to go till 4:15. And at 3 o'clock, she was like, yep, all right, well, I appreciate you all sitting here and listening in on this. And, you know, if you have any questions, come talk to me. And everybody kind of looked at each other like, oh, we're getting done early. And then the assistant superintendent like went up to the stage, and she was still mic'd, and she was like, oh, I'm Central Time? And she thought she was in a different time zone and thought it was 4:15. And she was like, oh, I have to go for a whole nother hour? And he's like, yeah.
And his
And
mic.
she goes, oh, yeah, I can do another hour. And then went back on the stage, and we all looked at each other like, are you kidding me? Like, let's just wrap it up. Let's just be done with it.
If she got it done, she got it done,
Yeah.
babes.
There's a
Yeah.
question up front. Yeah, go home. Yeah. You know,
Please leave.
Yeah.
it was just like, oh no.
I would have panicked.
This is brutal, but very specific. Have you ever had a professional development in your school that was led by another teacher that would have been the last person you would ever choose to tell us how to do our jobs?
Yes.
You ever have that? One teacher that she was right next door to me, and I would walk by her window, and she would have the kids doing her hair and her nails and like massaging her feet. And I'm not
No joke.
making
Are you
no
serious?
joke. No joke.
Florida, baby.
And then we
High school.
Yeah, high school. We get called down
my
to a
gosh.
professional development where she's going over class management for us. And I
Class
was like,
management.
salon
Make your
management
students your
or-
salon students.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was
And she taught what?
reading. Yep, taught reading.
Read the directions on this hair dye box.
Yeah.
There was another one that I had. It was one of the first schools I ever worked in, and we were sitting there, and the guy was definitely eligible to retire like 10 years earlier, and he was just an old, just worn in dude. I loved him because he had no filter. He was like the official old guy of the school. You can just
Devin's
say
right here, man.
the official old guy.
Rude.
But he was so old and crabby all the time. I loved it. And we're sitting there, and as the PD goes on, he tasks me, he goes, hey, can you punch me in the face as hard as you can? I just started dying laughing. And everybody started
After you
looking
hit
at
him.
us. I just like try to hide my face. And then the old guy, he didn't care about anything. He was like, what? Yeah, punch me in the face. This is awful. And he like was starting to make a scene. Like, okay, let's cool it. Like, we're done. Let's
Right.
not do this right now. Because I think every school needs that one old guy who
Yeah.
just sets it straight. Everybody needs one old guy in
That's
their
not afraid to
building.
speak up because he's got
Yeah.
tenure.
Yeah.
Do you guys, so I do professional development speaking. Do you guys do?
Yeah.
You do it?
Yeah, I've dabbled.
You dabbled?
I've dabbled.
Not in my school,
So
though.
I went into it because I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I wrote down everything that I ever hated
Yep.
about the other PDs, and I was like, how can I fix that?
I've never been to one of yours. I want
I
to know
have
what you
comedy
do.
in the classroom, like laughter in the
I
lesson.
like
I
that.
call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And bringing like lightheartedness and funniness to not only the kids and the class and the students, but yourself.
Yeah.
Like people
So how do
forget.
you-
People forget comedy
Yeah.
is self-care.
100%.
It
It
literally
is.
has the
Yes.
same scientific hormones are released
Yeah.
when you're meditating as to when you're done laughing. Like, you know, and people forget that. And so like I was like, how can I bring that laughter into the class? How can I make the kid, and not just the classroom, but like the whole school?
Yeah.
So like I wrote it out, put jokes in, and I even found myself like literally doing something and writing it and being like, this is like directly a gut punch to that PD that I did, that I went to. And like, I'm just like trying to knock these people out to where like, this is way better. And I mean, but we look up jokes for the class that are specific to a lesson. I tell them all, write down any topic, and they write down a topic. And I say, now you can take 5 minutes to just look up jokes, kid jokes, whatever, on that topic. You think that they don't exist. They do. There's millions of jokes online.
Yeah.
And so then we read out the jokes aloud. And what's crazy is I write down some of the jokes, and I'm giving away a little something here, but I write down some of the jokes as they're telling them. And then I do a quiz at the end. And I quiz them on the jokes that they told, and everybody knows the answers. And I said, isn't it so much easier to remember it when it's fun? Isn't it so much easier to remember it when it triggers something funny up here and positive energy rather than just reading it? And they always pass it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And they leave with like new knowledge based upon the jokes that they had, that they created, that they hear from other teachers. And
I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like a slam dunk PD.
It really
that's
is.
so cool.
It's the best. Like, I'm proud of my PD. But I was asking you guys, because when I wrote mine, I went into it with, get rid of this because this is terrible. But doesn't it seem like sometimes teachers, you sit there and you listen to their PD and you go, were you in the other ones? Like, why are you doing this to us again?
Yeah.
You know, like, you didn't hate that last one we did? You had to replicate it?
Like verbatim. The ones that I started doing was going back to school for clinical social work and therapy. I was like, we've talked about it before, sitting through a self-care professional development is completely pointless because the self-care would have been not going. And so we like spend the time joking for most of it, and then we write down, you know, can we tell the difference between asking for a day of self-care if you need a mental health day, or saying, hey, I need this day, because going to the doctor is not self-care. It's I have to go.
So I did one for, I think it was like a Houston City School District. And first things first, I was like baffled they asked me because I'd never done one before. And I was really, really nervous. And actually, Gary helped me write it. And he taught me that like one of the best ways that he does it is by using an object lesson. So he said, like, pick 5 items, 5 lessons that you want people to take away from your PD. I did mine about how to be an entertainer in your classroom and like how to like make your kids engaged. It was virtual, so I had them like off to the side, and as I was going through the PD, I'd like pull it out and tell a story about it and connect it to a story in my life, and then tell like what the lesson was. So like, I'm not saying mine was great because it was the first time I ever did it, but like I was on at the same time as Ron Clark. And I got 40 whole people in my video.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive.
I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that more, and I want to make mine as least like.
People would show up to mine though, and I'd be in the Ron Clark. Nobody else came in.
I'm here for
see what he has
Ronald.
to say.
No, but I want mine to be the least stress-inducing and like
Development.
hate-inducing that I can, because I mean those are awful.
Yeah, these districts, they don't trust me yet as a young pup. They're like, 25-year-old giving PD.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
I'd be like, this guy
definitely
knows
so.
nothing.
So actually, what I do,
He showed that video about the walruses.
I would literally sit in the back like Game of Thrones and be like, shame, shame.
this guy stinks. Like I don't talk to current teachers. I got a presentation. I go to colleges, and my whole presentation is things I wish I would have known before I became a teacher.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, so I've gone to a couple different universities, and I talked to them about, hey, here are the things I wish I would have known before I was a teacher. And when I created that, I put myself in college students' shoes and thought, okay, what are things I wish I would have known?
That's got to be hard considering it was a year ago.
I didn't think way back
like
to last
them
year.
anymore.
He still has those shoes he wore in college.
But I've sat through a couple PDs, some good, some that I was thinking, who on earth wrote this and thought, yeah, this is it. This is good. I'm going to make districts pay for this.
Like, an exorbitant amount of money to pay for.
See, but that's the thing. I don't think that they sit back and go, yeah, this is good. They go, this is enough, and I'm getting paid this much for it. You have to listen to me.
Right.
And it's, sometimes when they hire these speakers for PD, it's as if when they put the job description out, they're like, okay, let's find somebody who hasn't taught for 15 years. Let's find somebody who barely knows how to use a computer. Let's find somebody who just cannot relate to kids very well. Oh, you check all those boxes? Hired.
Which is wild now because it's so funny to sit through a PD and then be like, let's talk about classroom management. And I'm like, did you teach during COVID? Oh, you haven't taught since COVID? Nope. Move on. Move on.
game's new. Game has changed.
Yeah, right.
Game's changed.
100%. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Or like the technology professional development that can't even run the projector.
I start off my PD by going, just so you know, I taught through 2021. I taught hybrid and virtual and in class in Florida, no masks. I've earned my right to be here. So
That's your credentials now. It's
Right.
not, I have a bachelor's and I have a master. No, it's, I taught during COVID.
yes,
In Florida.
In Florida.
In Florida, yeah. And now, one of the things that I've noticed about PDs, it blows my mind. You have a PD presenter, and they walk in, and they don't know how anything works for the first 20 minutes. And you're like, you've never done this before? Like, they're
I get it's a different school, but
just a clicker, do I click it right or left? Oh, it's not connecting. That's weird. Do we have a tech guy? And you're sitting there for 20 minutes, and you're like, this is half of the PD.
Yeah.
Is him trying to
Love
figure
that.
out the...
okay. So are any of you guilty of like taking other things to do to PDs you are mandated to go to?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not the only one. I'm notorious for doing that because I will sit in the far back right corner, like as far away from whoever is presenting as I can. And then I'll just bring my like lesson plan book or whatever, papers are great. And I'll just sit there and do that. And then if they start like walking around the room, I like shuffle it under my notebook real quick. And then when they leave, I'm like pulling it back out. I feel like Harry Potter with the Marauders map. Like, don't look at mischief managed. And I'm like pushing it under my binder.
Okay, so we hate on PD, but what are good PDs that you guys have had? Are there any that stick out that you're like, oh, I actually learned some useful skills there? For me, like
It all took a moment for us. We were like,
For me, Kagan strategies, I actually really like those. I think those are good. My critique on that is it's like a 6-hour day of just talking about strategies. Man, my sweet spot got an hour and a half.
Okay.
Give me it in an hour and a half, and I'll take away with it. Otherwise, it's too long. Let me go work in my classroom.
I'm going to get real with you because you're a young teacher, okay? And I will tell you that I have had some PDs that I'm sure were fantastic. After year 5, it doesn't matter. And let me tell you why. Because the county, the district you're in, will never stick with whatever they're teaching.
Yes.
So no matter how hard you are invested in whatever they're talking about, no matter how awesome you think it is, it's gone next year. It's
gonna change.
So you, as a professional, you sit there through 1 or 2 and you go, this is awesome. This is great. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And then the next year they switch it up and it's literally turns into The Boy Who Cried Wolf, where every single time it loses its effectiveness and you just go, that's fantastic, but we're going to lose it in a year. So why would I invest my time in it?
Don't get excited.
You block it out. You're like, good idea. It won't work.
Every year at the beginning of the school year, they always bring in like a motivational type speaker for
What's
PD.
your why?
Remember your why. And then but this year, what the guy was saying really made sense. His name is Mark Perna.
Shout out.
And he was talking about, we just spoke with Damon John about how maybe college is not the avenue for every single person. We need to stop telling all these kids they have to go to college. We need to teach them, you'll be engaged or motivate them in their lessons by having them set goals for their career, no matter what class it is. How can you use these skills to get to here? And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that. And then he was like, I have these pieces that your school will need, and this will help you. And you put this giant tree up, and you have all the students sign with what they want to do when they grow up, and they work towards that goal. And there's different levels to the tree, this whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm so motivated. Let's go. And then we leave the PD, not a word of it again. Not a word. And I was like,
You
and it
asked
was
for
like
the
a
tree. It's
county-wide.
like a Charlie Brown tree. You're like, what?
Yeah.
This isn't what I
It was
saw.
a county-wide PD. The entire county was there. And I'm like,
And they didn't follow up.
no.
It's because it's a checklist, right? Like, okay, we did, that's what they kind of look
Beginning
at.
of year
check the box.
PD check. Okay, we made them sit in a room while we paid them all day. Good. All right.
You gotta
Teachers
have-
see when
Yeah.
the district is not bought in on it.
Oh,
They can recognize that. They realize, you guys checked the box.
and that's not to say my district's not bought in, because my district, I brag about my district left and right because we do make a lot of changes and there are different things we do that are great. But that is one that has not just been this district, but every district I've ever taught in or been in has done that. Every single year they do like a motivational speaker at the beginning of the year and like to get everyone hyped up, and then there's no follow through whatsoever.
See, I'm over it when it comes with having the motivational speaker. I'm over it when those people come in. Like, give me the professional development. Give me, like, I want to see that. Like, give me the strategies. I don't need somebody to stand up here and say, what's your why? I'm over that.
I think that it depends on what the motivation is, right? If the motivation is like a way to like reach students in the classroom that doesn't have to follow X, Y, Z because that's going to switch next year when state standards or for me was federal standards change. But like, listen to someone's why, or, a motivational speaker who has nothing to do with the education, sectors. I think
and those are the ones I'm referring to.
So let me tell you, there's a shift, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I've started to see it because I do keynotes and I get booked a lot. And the number,
big flex.
Yeah. Well, but the reason I get booked a lot is fantastic. I think it's absolutely amazing. Is I have these districts that I do Zooms with ahead of time, and they go, "Hey, so we've done motivational, we've done professional. We just need to laugh, bro."
Mm-hmm.
And they literally are like, "We just want to feel good," you know?
Yeah.
And that's the message that I keep hearing now is that teaching is so hard. They literally are hiring me just for a break, for a mental break. They're like, "We got to have somebody in there." The teachers have heard it all. Mm-hmm. They've heard your what's your why. They've heard the PDs. Yeah. They just want to laugh, man. Yeah. And so then, you go in, you make them laugh, and it feels good. And they're like, "Oh, this was way better." We're tired of listening to somebody telling us that this is how it's going to happen,
Bonding happens there, right? Like when you're laughing with your colleagues and you guys can like relax or you can joke back or talk back to you. That's a bonding experience where it's not necessarily, these four people sit here and try to figure out how to get this paper clip to the ceiling, but you can only use a shoestring and hopes. Like,
Well, teachers don't scroll through TikTok looking for professional development.
No.
They want to laugh.
They're looking for an escape.
Break.
Yeah, right. So like from a teacher's perspective, we're kind of hating on PD and we're talking about things that we get frustrated with. From the PD perspective, are there things that districts do and teachers do that you're like, come on, guys, like, don't do this to me?
Yeah, they sit in the back corner with a laptop and pretend like they're interested.
Yeah.
And I'm just kidding. No. Sometimes when I do PDs and stuff, it's typically just they're ready to laugh. I mean, it's so weird, especially the people that know. They're like, "Oh, it's a comedian." Okay. They're like all towards the front. And you see them in the beginning. One of the weird reactions I always get is like when I get there and they're like, they don't know you're here. And so then the superintendent gets up there, "Our numbers have been great. We're doing well. Keep it up, teachers." And you see them like all fading. And then they're like, "Also, we have the guy from board teachers here to do some comedy." And they're like, "What?"
That's Hal Williams?
Yeah. Then I come out and they're like, "Oh, the straight one."
The straight white one.
Wait, Tel's gay?
A little bit.
Does your husband know?
I'm a little bent wristed.
Don't tell.
Don't tell him.
Unintended. All right.
The funny thing is, so have you guys ever had, I don't think this happens often, where the teachers kind of get a say and like, "Hey, this stuff's going on. What can we do about it?" kind of thing. I remember years ago, I think it was my second year teaching, we sat around, we didn't know this was going to be professional development. We had a committee that would talk about retention and all that stuff. And we were talking about some of the things that like niche things teachers deal with. And for pre-K, one of the huge things is like the ratio is like 1 to 10. So we can't just like, "Oh, there's a co-teacher in the room, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick." Can't do that. So you have to call the office or whoever. The school decided, it'd be a great professional development. We're going to have a urologist come in and teach the teachers how to hold their bladders for 8 hours.
Are you kidding me?
That's not real.
Hands to God.
That is not
Real
real.
life?
Hands to God. And there are people.
Some presenters ask, "What's your why?"
Yeah.
I ask, "What's your P?"
Yeah.
What's your P? So that district really had that meeting thinking, okay, what should we do this year? And they all had that option and said, this is a good idea. But I'm saying for like other jobs, if they gave that as, as a seminar, they'd be sued. They'd be like, this is crazy.
It was also not under education. It was a health and human service.
Oh. Here's the thing, though. There's teachers, though, that are like taking notes, like cross the legs. Never thought of that.
They're okay. Take water retention pills. Like, that's fine.
Man.
I
Eat notebook paper. It dries it all up.
Just
great.
don't drink water all day. Got it.
No, I had to sit through PD every single day.
What?
Every day at
Why?
my first school. Because we were, I don't know what the title was, but like we were in like, I don't know, academic emergency. Every single day we had to get to school by 7:45 and sit through a 45-minute PD.
Every day?
How could they come
day.
up with that many PDs?
Only on Fridays did we have that 7:45 to 8:30 block completely free. But Monday through Thursday,
I really like my admin at the current school that I'm at, and they do such a good job of advocating for us to have classroom time. They're huge on that. When we have in-service day, they're always like, hey, we're going to do our best to get you as much classroom time as we possibly can. Because for like building principals, it's not always their call of how much time.
100%.
Like, they've got bosses who are telling them what to do, and a good admin can recognize, crap, my teachers, they just want to be in the classroom.
Yeah.
So shout out to my administrators for giving us classroom time.
I can't wait till you quit because this is going to be the best podcast ever. You'd be like, okay, you guys remember season 3? Horse crap. Okay, I was scared. They were behind the camera. They were telling me what to say.
I was tied down to that torn chair.
Situation. You guys didn't see me blinking over and over again. I was nervous.
But I feel like we've talked about it so much recently with being dyslexic and numbers. If you told me I had to go to school on Wednesdays for an hour to do math, I would have left. Like I can't think of going in early on a Wednesday because Wednesdays are my least favorite day of the week.
Oh, me too.
And then sitting through math.
I don't know why Wednesdays suck so bad.
No.
Like they really do.
Did you get donuts?
No.
No.
Every
coffee,
single
no
day.
donuts?
You better be in that room in your chair. Like, and it was like strict. Like if you walked in at 7:46, the PD had started and the principal was like marking you down that you were late.
You do an extra minute.
I'm not kidding you. I taught at the worst, most strict
See,
school.
this is you in the future.
Because I don't
this is
teach
you.
there anymore. Like,
You'll be like, I hate them mother.
Listen, as a sub, I don't have to do professional developments anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I get to like. Well, that's not true. I go to the professional developments and I have to clean people's rooms and help them organize.
You should. That's the best. You should go because then you don't have to worry about repercussions.
That's
you can
true.
be like, that
That's
won't
true.
work.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, who are you?
Yeah. I'm the sub.
You can't fire me. There's a sub shortage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Will you
really
fire
can't
me?
fire you.
Yeah. It's like- One, I love subbing because there's not that much pressure, but like I keep thinking, God, why did this feel so nice to do that? I'm like, you don't have that pressure, but also I'm sure I could sit here and think of professional developments that I've loved. Like when they've done like how to like actively and performatively like read a children's book. Like that stuff's fun.
The ones I get the most out of are typically like health related. Like,
yeah.
you know.
How
like,
to pack a wound.
Yeah, EpiPens.
How to apply a tourniquet.
Yeah.
Which are all things I learned how to do this year.
Yeah, CPR training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff, I'm like, I could use this. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
useful.
But the rest of it, I don't. No.
One of my
Yeah.
biggest pet peeves is like, and I've never been to one, so maybe I would feel differently if I went. But like these giant, massive teacher conventions that like they make teachers pay thousands of dollars to attend. It's like, you know that my salary is $1,000, so why are you charging me so much money? Like, how do people afford those?
Usually districts help compensate a little bit.
None of the
It
ones in
depends-
Ohio.
Yeah, they like
Devin's over there like, this
grant-
is my entire business model
No, I
right
don't
now.
perform at I haven't
No,
done
I'm
any.
kidding,
I've
I'm
done
kidding.
like 2 conferences, but they weren't even teacher conferences; they were software conferences. So, Aries Software, shout out, love you. See you in 2023.
But when you move over to Dell next year, you're gonna be like,
I
you
know.
know, is Dell still around?
They are still
Okay, cool. I love
around,
that for them. Missed them.
I think some of them have a little something, but I think also that, and I know this is crazy to say, but I think sometimes we think influencer means authority.
Yes, I agree.
And so, like, you see 20 people that are presenting, and you go,
Yeah.
you have no business presenting. You
Yes.
know, like, what's your credentials?
That-
1 year in the classroom
like-
and a viral video? You know,
Yeah.
it's
That's
like,
how I
100%.
feel. Like, I know, and I'm not trying to brag. I know I'm a good teacher.
Yes.
I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. Do I feel like that makes me the authority on like different subjects in education? Absolutely not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like when different districts are asking me to present on things, I sit back and I go, what am I going to teach these people that they don't already know?
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
what is it that they want to hear from me? Because I don't know what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like the conferences are bad, because I'm sure there are tons of presenters
Yeah.
there that give valid and useful information. I've never been to one because I can't afford to go to one.
money,
Is
yeah.
the problem?
Yeah.
And
not only the entrance there, but the
Staying.
getting there.
Getting
Yeah,
there.
the food
Yeah.
and the
Staying
drink.
there.
Yeah.
Like, that's
The
a
teachers-
$2,000 trip.
Yeah, the teachers want to go out. you know?
Yeah.
Teachers drink.
Yep.
And I think
I need a bar tab.
when they can send some, they pick and choose which teachers can go. If
Yeah.
the school can,
It's very gatekeepy.
It is, and I remember sitting there, and they would tell you, "We want you to do this or do that." I'm like, I am a fun teacher with the kids. I'm a fun teacher with the parents. I am terrible with curriculum. I never turn my lesson plans in on time. I was a good teacher. I wasn't a good educator that a school system would necessarily want because I did things based off of what was fun, what the kids would listen to, and what they were interested in learning,
Sounds
what the
like a
parents
good
wanted them to
educator
learn.
to me.
But in the sense of going to like
Not in Florida.
I'm sorry, I'm not a good Florida educator, but I would look at that when they wanted me to teach on what about these daily lesson plans or how do you schedule your day? I don't know. You think that the person you see online who is joking about cursing and drinking wine is this amazing teacher? Like, I'm not.
But
I'm
feel
fun.
I feel like I know how to do those things,
Right.
but I'm like, no one wants to listen to me talk about those things. Like, who wants to sit in a room and listen to me talk about how I lesson plan?
But I think it's different because you're good at what you do.
But I still am like, no one wants
'Cause
to
you're like,
attend
I
a
don't wanna listen to
PD
yeah.
where they tell you how to lesson plan because everyone has their own system. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I would feel differently about that if I.
I think it just depends, like you said, on the conference. Like if it's led. See, I told you I'm a terrible
Wow.
teacher. If it's led by a like I said, NACI is the National Alliance of Young Education something. That's probably not the right thing. But it's like a national credential, and it's something like it's what licensed me to teach pre-K, and I love that. But like some of these like celeb ones, I'm like,
So there is literally like LitCon every year in Columbus. It's like a literacy convention.
Oh, I thought it was like,
And-
it's lit.
Yeah, it's a LitCon, and
There are people showing up disappointed.
I mean, they get pretty lit.
Books.
So I asked to go, and like I should be able to because not only am I an English teacher, but I have my master's degree in reading and literacy.
Yeah.
And I have like licensure to be a literacy coach.
Flex on them.
And I'm lit.
But I'm saying like
Yep.
I've asked to attend and I've been shot down and told that like I'm not a teacher leader or a coach, so I can't attend because they're sent there to go and delineate the message back to us. But I was like, so wait, I can't go learn it myself, but these people can go and learn it and then tell it to me wrong later? Okay. I don't know. I just feel like if it's going to be an open thing, like everyone should be able to go.
Yeah, I agree.
we kind of do professional development together a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the spring and summer, we do it's always like a different theme.
Yeah.
With the teacher off-duty comedy tour. And so I feel like that's kind of like a professional development for them, but you can drink there usually. You can get
Hint,
litty.
hint, wink, wink.
Litty. Yeah, that's the Lit Con, friends.
Purchase your tickets down below.
Yeah. We get to do that, right?
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
kind of like it's not professional
I
at
think
all.
that's fun.
It's a fun thing to go to.
I would count it as professional development. If you gave me a
Yeah.
CEU for that, I'd go
agree.
to everyone.
How do we do that? I don't know. How do you-
Self-help.
Speaking of self-help, I want to rant about school supplies.
That's a great
Are these
self-help.
products good or garbage? With Gabe. I'm Gabe. Today, the product I want to talk about, school paper towels. They're brown.
A classic.
They're everywhere. You see them in every classroom.
They're
Do they
brown,
clean up
they're everywhere.
anything? Not at all. Did you just did some kid in your classroom just spill their milk all over the place? If so, yeah, don't use the brown paper towels. It will in fact make it more of a mess. I did a test in my classroom. You know what cleans better than school paper towels? A couple things. A tortilla shell. I tried that. Tortilla shell cleans better than school paper towels. A piece of paper cleans better than school paper towels. Your sleeve, give it one of those. Cleans better than school paper towels. Are school paper towels good or garbage? They're garbage. What do you guys think?
I think that's a unanimous yes.
You ever see the Dark Knight bloopers? That's actually one of the ways that the Joker got his scars is he blew his nose with a school paper towel. And he's like, want to know how I got these scars?
With the paper towel.
It just cuts your whole face.
I feel so bad because
Yeah.
sometimes in my classroom, whenever I run out of school like tissues, the kids will be like, "Hey, do you have any more tissues?" And I'll say, "No, but I got some paper towels you can
Got
use."
barbed wire back there.
The disappointment in their faces.
They just go, "No, thank
I'm
you."
like, I got paper towels, and they go, "Oh, I guess I'll just wait."
This is going to be so funny to you guys, but you try with water and it won't soak it up.
No.
I cut myself and it soaked up the blood perfectly. I was like, these are blood towels. They're meant for everybody who gets beat up.
Right.
That's
what they're
not
for.
for water. But it really did. I was like, why is it so absorbent for blood? It's like made for blood. I don't know.
I think you
It's
like
stupid, but it's true.
it's
I don't know why.
it's
absorbs it.
conspiracy theory now.
It is.
Oh my God. Anyway,
gosh.
so I think that this would be a great time to get into our game. So we have a game where we're going to, it's basically the lip read challenge. So you're going to put headphones on and you're going to listen to music loud enough so you can't hear what we're saying. And then somebody's going to read to you something to do with teaching. And you have to try and guess what it is they're saying. You can make multiple guesses. So like Jordan and I play this game and the most ridiculous things come out of your mouth when you're trying to like just read the lips.
Right.
I'm terrible at reading lips. So
So are these like classic teacher phrases?
they kind of sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just grab one and just an example of what we might be.
And we whisper it.
Scaffold tip for me.
Okay, reading benchmark assessments. Oh, I think these are.
I think you're not supposed to read it out loud
But no,
for everybody.
I was like
Give me
an
an
example of what it is.
example.
Oh,
I
okay,
think
I
they're is it an acronym?
No, I think they're just like 3-word phrases in education.
Reading benchmark assessment.
Okay, that was the first. So
Okay.
that's I guess
Things
a
like
lot of
that.
words.
Okay.
to get your head in the
So
game.
I wear these, or you wear these.
Get your head in the
Who
game.
wears these?
You wear them.
You
wear
can
them
go first.
You go. You
Okay,
you read
you
it.
can go ahead and play. Ooh, that is. Hold on.
This is blank.
Hold on.
I
I don't have any music. There's no snare in my headphones. There's no snare in my headphones.
There's no,
I'm just hearing error messages.
he needs more
Check
cowbell.
your Gmail. All right.
You're good. Okay. Flexible seating options. Flexible seating options. Flexible.
Dude, that first word is I'm reading something we can't say. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me be quiet. The music will start again.
Flexible seating options.
Wow.
Without making it nasty, say what you think it is.
Yeah.
can't hear you.
I know.
I'm be real. It sounds like F-word positions. I don't know. I'm seeing this. That's what I'm seeing. I'm literally like,
It is not that.
game or
What kind of PD is this?
oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean that's that too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh God,
That is
Teachers
so
off duty
funny.
after dark.
that's my type of PD.
All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Dry erase markers. Dry erase markers.
Try to read sparkles.
Dry erase markers. Dry erase markers.
Try erase parkles.
Dry erase markers.
Dry erase markers.
Yay!
Hey.
I can't high five because I got a coffee cup in my hand.
I thought you were saying something about sparkles. I was very excited.
I love the sparkles though. Okay.
So funny. Daily learning objectives. Daily learning objectives.
Daily
Learning
turning
objectives.
options.
Daily
Daily
learning. Learning. Learning.
I'm like making the same lip motions.
Learn.
La.
Ing.
Learning.
Objectives.
Daily learning objectives. Yes. Oh, why do we all do the double high five when no one has two hands?
I get very excited.
Oh wait, it's your turn.
This would have been way better the first episode that we were recording because he had the lip gloss still, and it was so fancy.
His lip gloss is popping. His
Okay.
lip gloss is.
It's cool.
All right, let me see here.
No, this is good music choices.
I'm not even saying anything. Hold on. Classroom seating arrangement.
Classroom seating charts.
Classroom seating arrangement.
Classroom seating arrangements.
Wow. Good job, Gabe.
Yeah. I'm
proud of you.
That was good. I think
That was
you
a
cheated.
great song you
was
guys were
impressive.
playing.
Was
I
it
think
good?
you cheated.
I like how I had to
was the
say it
song?
loud so I could hear myself.
What was the song, Gabe?
Are we doing more?
Should we do one more? Yeah,
Okay,
let's
all
do
right,
it.
I'll do one more.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh, that seems like something that could go south very fast.
That means it
Oh
will.
no. Okay. Is it plain? Field trip permission slip.
So this might be a
Can
tough
he read
one.
mine?
So sorry. I can't.
Field trip permission slip. Field
Dude,
Giving
I'm
him
seeing
too much.
fingers, and I hope we're not still on what you guys tried the first time.
field
Field.
trip
Getting spit on over here.
trip
Trip.
permission.
He's giving you way too much.
Porpoise trip. Porpoise.
Permission
Permission
slip.
slip. Okay,
Yeah,
permission slip. Field
there
trip
you
permission
go.
slip. Gotcha.
Field trip porpoise slip.
Yeah.
Purpose slurp.
I was like, we're going to SeaWorld. That's what he's saying.
I will not stand up. Oh, sorry, it talked. Wait,
Oh, perfect.
wait, hold on.
Professional Development Day.
Professional.
Yes.
Hold on.
Professional Development Day. Professional Development Day.
You're saying professional development, but what's the? Hold on. What's the
Professional Development Day.
professional development day? Like, there's one more word there. Why does the mouth keep
Almost put
moving?
it back in the cup.
I don't know what that song was, but I liked it.
Crop dusting students.
Okay, that second word did not look like what it was.
Crop
Crop.
dusting.
Crop top.
Dusting.
Crop adjusting.
Crop
Crop dusting.
students.
Crop dusting students.
Yeah.
Are they crop dusting or are we doing it?
We are.
Yeah. Oh, where's the, oh, there it is. Oh, this one, you're done. You're done. You're done. Finish him. Scaffolding learning strategy. Where you at now, pretty boy?
Wait. Just talk. Wait.
Scaffolding
Scaffolding.
with two T's. Learning strategy.
Scaffolding learning strategies.
With two T's, yes. There's no T's in scaffolding.
You still haven't learned scaffolding.
isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
We are
That's
teachers.
too much. That's too much.
We teach the youths.
Oh my gosh. We've done it.
Yeah.
Let us know about your podcast.
Yeah, it's Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. It's quite possibly the tied for number one teacher podcast in the world, with Mr. D's. And I'm just kidding. No, Crying in My Car, podcast for teachers. It's funny. It's just comedians, myself, James Yan, he's a parent, and we go back and forth about teachers in the news and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, yeah, you definitely want to tune in and listen.
Tune
And
in.
find us on tour. Me and Tell are going to be on the Board Teachers comedy tour, right?
Yay.
And then maybe a little surprise, guest
Maybe-
performances, maybe. Who
And a
knows? That would
No.
be nice.
And a-
And a maybe? And a maybe?
Yeah, it would be nice to have them join us,
Yeah.
on some of the shows.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but, And, but definitely
Yeah.
find the tickets online. So, yeah, I got to promote it since you guys don't.
Yeah.
And
He's our only promoter, actually. Yeah. This is a paid actor right now.
it is.
Do you want to send us off? This
I
has been
will,
chaotic.
because he's too busy dancing over here. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope that you guys tune in next time. I almost looked at the wrong camera, so I did like a weird head turn there. But we would love for you guys to subscribe and follow the podcast, and make sure you guys leave us some comments. We love to read them, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.